I wrote a book called Read Books All Day and Get Paid for It, which is about book coaching. It's a nuts and bolts book about running a book coaching business. And that title is meant to be a tiny bit facetious because it's a thing everybody always says. Oh, I just wish I could read books all day and get paid for it. And as book coaches, that is a lot of what we do is read books all day, and we do get paid for it, and that is true, and it is why so many of us want to do it. But the thing that calls up for me when thinking about that idea of doing work that you love is, does it make sense to build a business out of something you love, or does it make sense to keep that thing you love as just a thing you love? So let's say that you love to read or you love to write or both, and you do think about how great it would be to read books all day and get paid for it. Does it make sense to actually try to make a business out of that and become a book coach, or is that a bad idea? And I think there's a couple of ways to think about this question. And one of those ways is, what would you actually love about that work? What are the specific things that you would love about reading books all day or being involved in helping writers write books all day? What about it would you love? And I recently had the chance to survey and speak to some of Author Accelerator's 153 certified book coaches, and we came up with a list of the top four things that we most love about book coaching. And I think it's instructive to hear what those things are, because you can get a sense if you really would like to do that work. So it's about knowing what the work really is and if you love it. So the four things that we talked about, number one was helping writers make big mindset shifts, helping them come into the confidence that they need to write, and the habits that they need to actually get work done. And those internal shifts that we help guide them through are so profoundly moving to be part of. It's helping somebody raise their voice and make their creative life a reality. It's such a privilege to be involved in that work and to help people through those big shifts, those internal mindset shifts that are what make somebody become a writer at all. And we get to witness those, and we get to help make them happen, and walk somebody through that. It's really powerfully satisfying work to do. The second thing that was often cited was helping people with the actual words on the page, helping them get the idea out of their head and onto the page in a way that was working for them. So helping the light bulbs go off, helping them get the words right, get the structure right, get it right, and being with them for those smaller breakthroughs, or those editorial breakthroughs, if you will, helping them match the vision that they have for their book by what they're actually writing on the page. People cited that as really satisfying work. The third thing that was most loved was the ability to control time. And when coaches talk about this, they talk about it in several ways. One is just the day-to-day time, how you do your work day to day. And do you like to edit in the morning or edit at night or save it all for one day, or how you sort of organize a week, if you will, and how you get to respond to your own energy within that week and do different things at different times. People really liked that. But people also talked about organizing their time over a year. Some of our coaches talk about having children at home and either wanting to work more or less during the summer or during holiday times or back to school times, and being able to orchestrate how they work with clients in overtime in that way was one of the things that they most loved about book coaching. And then the fourth top thing that they loved was all the different things that you get to do when you're a coach. It's not just one thing. There's so many different parts of it. And the ability to do those different parts, again, to match your energy or your time or that sort of thing. People really loved that it's endlessly interesting because there's always something different to do, whether it's something working on your business or working on a different kind of project or with a different kind of writer, or just all the different tasks that make up the work of a book coach. People really like the variety of them, that it's never boring. There's always something new to learn learn and something interesting and something fun and something exciting. And that was a top thing that they loved as well. There's many, many more things that people love about being book coaches, but we actually had this conversation on Valentine's Day. I'm speaking just after Valentine's Day now, and it was just a fun conversation to have. So then the second part of that question about should you make what you love, should you make a business out of what you love? The second part is, well, you've got to really look at how it's going to work. You've got to really make a business plan to see how are you going to make money? How are you going to get clients? How are you going to price your work? How are you going to market your work? That nitty-gritty stuff about running a business that a lot of people who are drawn to book coaching might make them a little nervous. Maybe it's new for them, or they haven't really thought of themselves in that way before, or it just feels scary to embark on that kind of thing, and that idea that you're in charge and it's all on you and you have to figure out all those pieces. There might be some technology pieces in that scare you a little bit. And if you can think about the parts that you would love about coaching, and you can sit down and get granular about the business aspects and make a simple business plan that holds water, that's going to work, that's going to mean you make money. If you can do those two things and bring those two things together, then it does make sense to do work you love as a business. If the business aspects of it upset you too much, or sort of send you into a panic too much, or you just don't think you can learn those aspects or want to learn them or do them, then no, it doesn't make sense. You've got to have both pieces. You've got to have both sides. And at Author Accelerator, we talk a lot about the business side and how to price your services in a way that makes sense. How many clients can you serve in a given amount of time, and how much money can you make? How can you move a client through your services so that they stay in your ecosystem and continue to be a paying client for you? These basic business type questions, you've got to make sure that you can answer those. I do talk about those things in the book, Read Books All Day and Get Paid for It. And you can check that out and in the link below, and get first chapter of that book and start in on that at no cost. You can download that and check it out. I love book coaching. So many of our book coaches love book coaching, and being open-eyed about it, though, is really important. And we never promise anything or guarantee anything, because running a business is hard work, just like writing a book is hard work. Never guarantee my clients anything, because I know how hard it is. And it's just good to be clear-eyed and open-eyed about the business parts as well as the love parts. I hope that discussion helps you think about it a little bit, and that the book excerpt helps you as well.